Alright, let's get out some NBA draft reactions because it just finished. Well, it finished like an hour ago, but I don't know. I'm picking up the camera now to um so now let's talk about this. First off, the most surprising thing that happened today was the Bulls taking taking Patrick Williams with the fourth pick. I don't know, man. There's a rumor going around that the Bulls were going to trade Wendell Carter Jr. in the fourth pick to get the second pick and the draft James Wiseman. I don't know if those rumors were true. They probably weren't because I don't know if there's a general manager stupid enough to do that trade. But if it is true, what? What? Come on, it doesn't make any sense. You're drafting Wiseman, who's not as good as Wendell Carter. First off, Wendell Carter's a better player, and I'm just gonna say it now. Wiseman is not gonna be as good as Wendell Carter is gonna be, or even I don't know if he'll be as good as what Wendell Carter is right now. Wendell Carter right now is already like one of the best defensive centers in the NBA, and he's solid offensively, and he has a lot of room to grow in terms of passing and rebounding, and he can still improve on defense. He's just a really good player. He's one of the best players in the 2018 draft, and traded him away and the fourth pick just to move up 2 spots to draft a center who's not as good. That's absurd. But then something about the them taking Patrick Williams makes me think that maybe that rumor was true. Which I'm sorry, Bulls fans. That's really depressing. But I don't know. Patrick Williams, he came off the bench for his own college team, Florida State, which is like okay. That being a great college player isn't mean like you're gonna suck in the NBA or something. But I don't think it matters. He doesn't have that many skills right now that are NBA caliber. He definitely has an NBA body and NBA athleticism. But it's like you're gonna have to really work on him, and he's more of a power forward in my opinion, and a lot of people say that as well. You can put him at the small forward position, but I don't know if he's skilled enough. And even if he is, it's probably still more. You probably get more value out of him still by putting him at the power forward position. And they already have Lowry Marketing. I don't think Lowry Marketing is like a star or anything, but he's a very good player. And I feel like you draft Deni because your 2 biggest holes right now are one small forward because Otto Porter is always getting injured, and you never know. And even then, he's not like this great player that you're gonna for sure keep at in your future. And playmaking, and Deni Avdia, whatever his name is, he fills both of those roles really well. He's a 6'9", 6'10" small forward who's a really good ball handler. I won't say really good, but he's solid ball handler. A really good passer already, and can go into a better one. His jump shot form is solid. His overall scoring package is solid. He's got a lot of defensive potential. He's just a really solid wing. Like I said, I think in the last video, I think he could become a Nicholas Batum type player. So yeah, let's move on to the other teams. Another one I want to talk about is the Charlotte Hornets with Lamelo Ball drafting him. A great pick. You can pair. I think you probably trade Terry Rozier at this point, and I feel like a team could want him. Because he's not a bad player. And I mean he's not that good either, but he's not bad. And you have Lamelo, who I think is the most talented player in this draft. I think he's the best if he becomes what he can become. I think he's the best player in this draft without a doubt. His playmaking's awesome, incredible. I think he's gonna come in the league. He's already gonna be one of the best playmakers in the NBA, and with just growing and mentally and just learning more about the league and becoming a better decision maker, he's just going to become a better playmaker. And just that type of playmaking and his is in the scoring talent he has, it's just something I don't think you can really pass up. And I feel like he's the best player in this draft. Um, and him and Devontae Graham, I feel like that could be really interesting scoring and playmaking um, offensive duo. And I feel like if Lamelo can become like his brother, who is a really good defensive player, if he can learn from his brother, and maybe he wasn't that. Lonzo, they didn't feel like no one felt like he was this great defensive player, but he came in the league, and he's more of a, and he's a really good defensive player now. So maybe he can be like his brother. I don't probably won't be as good just because Lonzo is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. But if he can become solid, and the offensive duo of Devontae Graham and LaMelo Ball could be really interesting, and the playmaking between both of those guys is great. If LaMelo can just be more consistent, the scoring could be great, and the shooting can be great. And I mean, Devontae Graham's one of the better shooters in the NBA. So surrounding that with around LaMelo and PJ Washington, who's also a guy who can really hit 3-pointers and shots, and that's just I really like the pick. I think it really moves your team in another direction. I feel like drafting Wiseman, you're just kind of like, okay, you got Wiseman, you filled a need of your team, but here you're just kind of like you're just like filling it really. I'm not very high on Wiseman. Obviously, haven't talked very good about him. Not saying he's like gonna be a bad player, but I just don't think he's a top 3 caliber player, at least in terms of skills. And in today's NBA, guards and wings are definitely more valuable than a center, and especially a center who can't really shoot that well or dribble the ball that well, and is really not even that good of a defensive player at the moment. So, great pick by the Charlotte Hornets. Other teams, the Knicks, Obi Toppin, they should have took Halliburton, in my opinion. They have a lot of front court players, but even then, like the front court players they have, like none of them are like future like stars or future pieces that you really want to keep. But even then, they do have them, and getting someone that can shoot the ball and can really be a hybrid guard who can play multiple positions and be really versatile, can spot up if he needs to. I feel like that could have been a really good pick for them. And also, Deni was available at that time. Oh my goodness, Deni fell to number 9. The Wizards, congratulations. You got one of the best players in the draft, one of the most versatile players in this draft. Someone I think can be really good. So I think he's a top 3 player in this draft. I think it's LaMelo, Edwards, and Deni. So yeah, other teams, Cleveland, Koru. I feel like that's a decent pick. I think Deni's still a better pick than a Koru, just because you still have Koru's still a guard. You can definitely put him at the small forward position, but he's still a guard. I feel like they're gonna trade one of those point guards this season, just because I feel like it'd make more sense. And out of the two, I don't know who you trade. Colin Sexton is definitely better than Darius Garland right now, but we're not talking about that. Isaac Okoro, they were not very good defensively, and then their perimeter defense is not very good. Okoro, that's what he does. So, 6, the Hawks, they did a Kongwu. Now, last video I called a Kongwu Okoro, so my bad. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like you should have just got Deni because he can play make, and you can have that could help Trae Young play off the ball, and you're just drafting in a center when you got Clint Capella. Now, I'm not super high on Clint Capella. I think a Kongwu is actually better, is going to be better than Clint Capella. So maybe that's the right choice. And defensively, you maybe just really want to just surround Trae Young with great defensive players, and I feel like a Kongwu can do that. But I feel like just taking the best player available would have been the best option. And you can never have enough wings, where you definitely can't have enough centers in today's NBA. 7 was Killian Hayes. Okay, not bad pick. 8, not. We already went. 8 was Toppin. 9 was the Deni, great pick. 10 was Jalen Smith. I mean, okay. I don't really have to explain why that one's not that great of a pick. I'm just gonna move on. Number 11 was with the Spurs. Devin Vassell, solid player. Even though they have so many guards, they drafted Trey Jones in the second round. They have this is absurd. They have DeJounte Murray, Derek White, DeRozan, who can play small forward. So Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, and now Devin Vassell, who can also play small forward. I think he is a small forward, actually. I don't know. They have a ton of guards, and now Trey Jones, and it's absurd. But yeah, that's a solid pick. Even though I do think Halliburton would have been better, and Halliburton with the Kings, great selection. The Kings got the steal of the draft, or maybe I would say Deni's the steal of the draft, but after that, Halliburton, great pick. You can put him right next to uh, Fox. Halliburton's biggest weakness is his ability to create offense for himself, like at an elite level. Um, and the I can't speak. Fox is very very good at that. So and they complement each other well. I feel like they can play off each other. Uh, Defensively, that could be really really good. And you can run Halliburton off the bench if you need to. Like I said, you can run 3 guard lineups if Buddy Hield's still on the team. You can run Halliburton at small forward, Fox, and then Buddy Hield or Buddy Hield at small forward. You can just he's very versatile as a guard, and I think that's very valuable. You want as many versatile players on your team as possible, and if you can get one of those as a guard, he's a really good playmaker, and can also play point guard, but can also play shooting guard and small forward. That's so valuable. It's absurd because you really can not have enough of those guys on your team. So yeah, shout out to the Kings. I think I'm gonna stop now because I'm at one Desmond Bain to the Celtics. Oh, I think he's going to the Memphis Grizzlies. He's gonna get traded there. That's another steal. Desmond Bain is maybe one of the best 3D players in this draft. You're able to get him at 30. Great pick. Tyler Bay is another guy I'm interested in. Don't know a ton about him, but I've heard about him defensively. I think that's a solid pick in the second round. Anyone else? No. I don't really feel like talking about the top 2 picks. This is just whatever. So yeah. I'm done.